Welcome to The Crunch, the only podcast that costs 10% more to listen to this week than it did last week. It's your boy, Ethan.
And I'm Patrick. Oh, boy.
The Crunch is a comedy advice podcast for Catholics. We're here to answer your questions. But first, how do you feel about the tariff situation? Do you feel like should we do something different, or should we do it this way? Or maybe is the world ending?
I don't know. No one knows. Come on. It's been 113 years. The oldest guy in the country doesn't know what tariffs are going to do. We have not.
I know exactly how this is going to go.
The last time we had tariffs, we didn't have Hawaii. Did you understand? Like the last time we had tariffs, I think there were 47 states in the union.
That's funny. Dude, the last time, we don't know. The economy is totally different. The last time we had tariffs, we did not have Jojo Siwa. Everything's different.
Yeah, right?
Think about that.
Last time we had tariffs, Jojo Siwa was a completely different person.
If you were 113 years ago, if you were a bisexual dancer, you would just be French, I think. You just had to. Oh, that's fair.
They just put you in jail.
The
state looks down on sodomy.
Yeah, everybody's losing their mind. And the thing is, here's what the circle that I cannot square for me. Mm-hmm. Everybody's complaining all the time. I can't afford to buy a house. I don't have any money. I would invest if I had any money. And then they're like, the stock market's going down. Think of all the companies. And it's like, I thought you guys didn't have any money and also hated companies. What?
Let the stocks go down.
Let the stocks go down. I thought you're burning down Tesla factories. Mm-hmm. But when things burn down naturally, you're like, this is bad. We should stop this. I think
the desire comes from like, we think this is the opposite of what you wanted to happen, and so we're happy.
Yeah, that's true.
Which
Trump
is just
has been very vocal.
Situation.
He's been very vocal. He's like, we got to do it. We got to tank it. It's like, honestly, bold. It's great it's kind of like a billionaire tanking the S&P 500 is really funny, because it's kind of like me, like when my son really wants to play Candyland and I'm like, I'm not going to play Candyland. And to him, it's like, this is devastating. This is the worst news I could have received today, is that we're not playing Candyland. But to me, it's like, I go the rest of my life without playing Candyland and I'd be fine. You know, it's kind of how it is.
Yeah, it's fair. He's set.
He's set. He's good. But he also knows that true wealth, lies outside of the confines of Candyland, aka the S&P 500. It's
I'm interested to see what happens with tariffs. I do think you're right / I was right, and then you tweeted what I said. I do think that tariffs are better a reflection of Catholic social teaching than just a free global market. I think that the free market is not a Catholic idea. This idea that you can just ship your manufacturing to China, and then you can import cheap goods and then upsell them in America for higher price. That seems wrong.
It feels weird to say that it's Catholic social teaching that I should be allowed to buy things that were made by small Chinese men that live in a smog-infested dormitory that's attached, that's abutted to a factory. Feels that to me, that does not feel like solidarity with the global poor for some reason. It
doesn't quite
take me out, right? I don't know.
And that's kind of my point, is like, I don't know what's going to happen with tariffs. However, I do think that the idea of, hey, you guys are benefiting, all these countries are benefiting from our economy, and they're not hiring Americans. So they're getting all the American money, but they're not paying any Americans money. So how about you pay America some money? Like that seems like it makes sense. However, it might tank the entire economy. Who? Again, I cannot reiterate this enough. No one knows. And if someone tells you they know, they're lying.
They don't know.
No one knows. They didn't teach in the 90s when these people were going, when the smartest person was going to college. They weren't teaching about how tariffs affect the economy, because they were like, that's never going to happen.
And it happened.
No one knows.
No one knows. You know what I do know is that we're going to give out some good advice today. That's a fact.
What I know.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So I think
and
we
if
should.
people want to get advice from us on the economy
Yeah.
and on what securities they should
Mm-hmm.
purchase.
Yeah, and this is going to be investment advice. We are licensed investment advisors. So anything
Correct.
you ask us and we advise you to do, you can hold us
Will be
fiscally
used
and
against you in a court.
legally liable. So if our stock picks are wrong, you can sue us. That's what I want to know.
Circuit City, buy. Buy.
Smash that button. If you want some advice, people do it a variety of ways. I'm going to just pick one channel.
Yes.
Email me, Ethan at thecrunchcast.com.
Oh.
Go into your email, type into your email inbox and just say advice for podcast in the subject line, and just to Ethan at thecrunchcast.com. That will guarantee that it gets in the queue for the program. If you can
That will
go
get
to
him.
If you go to your email server, Proton Mail, whatever it is, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever it is you're using, Ethan at thecrunchcast.com. Ask your question about dating, about theology, about evangelization, about marriage, about child rearing, about hog slaughtering, sheep shearing,
Yeah, man.
log cutting, timber framing,
Sawing logs.
any of that.
Sleeping.
We can help you out. Ethan at thecrunchcast.com.
Did you have
email.
a local roadrunner.com domain? A lot of people in my area had their email was at cfl.rr.com for Central Florida roadrunner.com. Did you have this?
No, I was born in the 20th century.
I am younger than you.
And I grew up in the 21st century where we had cool tech like iPods and GoDaddy.com domains. And I never had to do anything like what you're describing.
So it's just another kind of domain. And
my family could afford the real domains, the $12 a year domains,
the real free ones, like Gmail. My
Yeah.
dad did set me up with a Gmail. That was sick of him.
Yeah, shout out to my parents. That's what I got. I got a Gmail for Christmas one year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thinking back, it's kind of based.
That's a really Mr. and Mrs. Stevie. Congratulate. That's really funny.
I didn't realize how funny that was until I said it out loud. I opened it up as like a slip of paper with my email address on it and like the password.
I bet you was so excited. I bet you were like, "This is the best Christmas ever."
No way. I get to go make a Facebook account. This is awesome.
They did set you up well with. Never mind. I can't say your email address.
I got a great email address, I will say.
Dude, if I could, my social security number. It's kind
If I could make my social security number my email address,
I would. Okay,
I would.
Let's
answer some questions. There's too much banter.
nonsense.
You went on about the tariffs, and now you're going on
I
about.
hope that this is at least entertaining. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Question 1. A date redo from Thanos, a friend of ours from Discord. Is it weird to ask for a date redo? I made the mistake of drinking a Red Bull before going on a walking trail with a girl, and I had to pee the entire time. I couldn't really be myself, and I was barely paying attention to her. Is this the guy from the 6-hour walk from last week?
It might be. His name is Thanos, which makes me think of the "what was he cooking" meme, but it's just a big pot of Red Bull that he's stirring at his camp at the end of Infinity War.
You should never drink Red Bull before going on a date with a girl. White Monster only.
Yeah. The thing about going out with a woman is that if you use the bathroom at any point, it is a sign of weakness. You need to project strength. And so if at any point you sneeze, if at any point you gotta pee, if you have to like,
God forbid.
You don't want to do that. It's like at any point if you're saying like my body has more control over me than I do. Women pick up on that stuff. They're like,
they really do.
he was how was the date? He was nice, He bought me a salmon, and it was a delicious salmon.
Yeah.
And we went on a walk, but he went to the bathroom.
He was blinking a lot, and
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like,
He looked like he was breathing involuntarily. Not a big fan.
Not in control of himself.
So I actually, in that case, so he had the urge to pee. He never actually did pee. So maybe this is correct. Maybe he did the right thing.
What you should have done. Actually, no, this is good.
Yeah.
Because if you're out of doors, the peeing is no longer involuntary. The peeing becomes you're marking your territory so that
That's
other
true.
guys know that you were there.
Wow.
And that this is your tree. And so what you should have done actually was just say, excuse me.
Yeah. And then loudly rip it into the nearest bush. Don't
sure
even
you
go
find
into the tree
loudest-
line. Just
the
like
loudest bush.
stand on the edge of the trail, visible to everybody on both
Off the
sides.
trail.
And just because you got to think, what I was not considering is the pheromones.
Mm-hmm.
There's a powerful sexual effect that could be achieved here.
Scientifically proven that pheromones comes from the pee.
Yes. So you actually screwed up. You should have just said, stand right there. I'm going to take a slash over here onto the tree and then get it
Water
done.
some plants. Yeah.
It's honestly, it's like, what do you mean? The funny thing to me is he's asking for like a redo, as if he's like going to go to the woman and say, hey, my bladder was really full last time we were together.
Can you give
I'd
me
like to have
another
this.
chance?"
Can we have the same conversation again, but this time I'm empty? Can we go out when I'm empty, please?
Just have a second. That's called a second date.
Yeah.
Don't call it a redo to her or to yourself.
Let me break some bad news to you, Thanos. Everybody's full of pee on their first date. Everybody. Because if you like the other person, you're locked in, right? You would, if there's the sparks are flying, the chemistry is there. Ooh, you can feel the heat. You know, you don't want to ruin that by saying, you know what's it? I'm gonna go unzip my pants and release the waste from within me. See ya.
No,
It's just a bad idea. You got to keep the heat.
in.
You got to keep the tension. So you actually did it right. So I
You
would
don't
say
walk away from a fire when you're starting it. Come on.
unless you are a teenager in California a couple weeks ago.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. I think you do nothing. I think if it's okay, I actually think it's fine that you didn't listen to your date, because she was probably yapping, and
She was probably filibustering.
she was probably filibustering. You probably out with
25 hours in.
Cory Booker, yeah, speaking Spanish for no reason in the 2016 primary. That still upsets me that he did that.
I don't remember that.
He just started speaking Spanish out of nowhere, and it's like, your base is not going to be. I'm pretty sure Mexicans can tell when it's performative Spanish, and they get mad. They don't like it. Yeah.
They can. The guy at Mr. Sombrero in Houston, he clocked me. He was like, "You don't know how to speak Spanish."
What's the name of the place?
His name is Mr. Sombrero.
Awesome. That's just a great name for an establishment.
Yeah, right.
There's a car dealership. This is funny. In Norman, Oklahoma. I used to drive by it every time I would go visit Emma when she lived down in Norman. It's called Uncle Tio's.
Uncle Tio's.
Yeah.
That just means uncle.
It's kind of like the ATM machine of Mexican car dealerships.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm gonna use my PIN number at the ATM machine at Uncle Tio's.
There you go.
It's kind of. I don't think you have anything to worry about. I think you just asked this girl out again. She probably has no idea that you had to pee, unless you did that little dance the whole time that you were walking together.
I'm sorry. You have how many siblings?
Yeah. You're dancing like the
This is great.
freaking. What's the guy in Looney Tunes when you like shoot at his feet and he's jumping all around?
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam
does the shooting.
Yeah. I like it when Yosemite
If you want
Sam.
to, like jumping from like a jacuzzi into a pool, you get like shocked. If you ever
Yeah.
want to experience that, go from watching like hard, gritty crime dramas to watching the Looney Tunes. It's very funny. I did that. Watching these crime dramas, when they pull a gun, it's very dramatic. And I was just watching Looney Tunes. It was on. It's my brother. And Yosemite Sam just pulls a gun on Bugs Bunny. I'm like, holy show! Never mind. Oh, never mind. It's a Looney Tunes.
Dude,
that
Looney
was
Tunes
inevitable.
is so funny. Just comically large pistols that they're procuring, and it escalates.
Shoot a duck at point blank range. And Bill just flips around and goes, "How rude!" Like you're.
It's funny. We should watch more Looney Tunes, man.
Dude. Why don't we watch Looney Tunes?
They're
Looney
so
Tunes is
funny.
great. All right. It holds up. I think we're coming back around in the cycle. It was like 20 years ago. It wasn't cool to like Looney Tunes. Like,
Yeah. I don't think we got it. What has our sense of humor gotten better, or has everything else gotten so less funny that we have to go back to the tried and true? Like everything is based on Looney Tunes in a way. I guess Buster Keaton, you know, like the old school physical comedy guys, the Charlie Chaplin, etc. Like Looney Tunes is just that, but for animation. But now animation, all it is like some round bisexual kid that has to like go into space with Batman. Like, I don't know what they're animating now.
Is that Steven Universe?
That's Steven Universe is what I'm thinking when they threw Batman in there, because I know he's around sometimes. But that's what I feel like that we're dealing with now is serious, realistic panic attacks depicted in animation, when we should be depicting comically large pistols being fired at point blank range.
Yeah, I like that Puss in Boots took a turn and was like, the Shrek universe is now dealing with mental health. That's what that's how you know these movies are made for adults and not for kids. Anyway.
Yeah.
Question.
You want to go see Shrek 5 with me when it drops?
I'm being 100% serious to you right now. I thought they already made Shrek 5.
They made Shrek 4.
I didn't realize.
Confused because they did have a couple of Puss in Boots movies in there, so it's kind of started to add up.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen. I saw Shrek 2, but I've not seen 3 or 4. I don't know which one is Rumpelstiltskin, and I genuinely don't know what the plot of the other one is. I think they find an ogre community and they join the ogre community.
Is it like a communist community?
I think so. I think it's like a Waco ATF standoff situation.
They find the Branch Davidians, but
they find the Branch Davidians, and it's instead of high powered rifles, it's just like clubs
and just farts.
Yeah,
same end result because of all the farts.
They all the knights come in and they slay all of them.
It would be funny to see the Waco standoff in the Shrek universe with all the knights. I think that'd be kind of funny.
Let me just go to the ChatGPT real quick.
No. Studio Ghibli me this. All right.
Yeah, make this in the Shrek universe style. Let's do the next question.
Anonymous parent relationship advice. My parents are approaching retirement age and don't have a great relationship with each other. How can I, as their son, encourage them to work through 30 years of wounds and poor communication?
Yikes.
Oh boy. Dad is a workaholic. 12-hour days, 7 days a week. In his defense, he was very present when we were kids, but now that we're grown, he's let his work consume him. My mother isn't blameless in this either. She 100% prioritizes her own children more than her husband. It is visible. My dad doesn't have any friends. Not much of a relationship with his siblings either. I'm not sure how to give marriage advice to people who have been doing it longer than I've been alive. Help. I'm going to punt on this one. You can take it.
No, come on. That's not fair.
I have no idea what to do.
Listen, I'm 28.
This is like when that guy asked us parenting advice 10 years ago.
Yeah,
like, I don't know, man.
It ended up working out, so maybe we should try it here. So your parents. So it sounds like your parents don't have a great relationship, and your dad is a workaholic, and your mom prioritizes her children more than her husband, and you feel the need to fix this. I don't see any situation in which you can fix this.
Yeah.
Like, what do you imagine? What do you imagine is going to happen? Like, you're going to sit down with your dad and you're going to say, Dad, you really need to work on your relationship with your mom. And your dad's going to be like, with mom. And your dad's going to be like, oh yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. Totally. I'm going to, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start not working on the weekends. I'm going to only work 8 hours a day. And I'm going to start going out on dates with your mother. Thank you. I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm just like, let's role play this a little bit. What on earth could you say to your father, even if you did have a really close relationship with him, that could affect any type of change? Same with your mother. It's like, Mom, you love me too much. You need to love Dad more. You know, she's going to have some walk around excuse, you know, unless you get all of your siblings on board and like anybody
Stage.
else in their life that knows them. But then it's like weird to sit down two married people and be like, we've all noticed that you guys don't have a great marriage. So that's embarrassing, right?
Yeah, no one.
So
You know the Dave Ramsey rule about the diaper rule?
what's the Dave Ramsey rule about the diaper rule?
It's called, I forget what he calls it. He has some funny name for it, but it's
Sure.
if someone changed your diapers, they do
If you
not
can't-
care what you have to say.
If you
about
can't get
sex.
less than 5%.
You're not going to let me finish it. You're not going to let me finish
Sorry.
it.
I was just thinking about Dave Ramsey. Okay, go ahead.
If someone changed your diapers, they don't care about your opinion on sex and money. Those are the two that they don't care.
That's good.
Relationships and money. So they don't care about your opinion on relationships and money because they change your diapers. Sorry. That's how it goes.
If you have to take out a loan on a box of diapers,
Please go ahead on the
financing diapers is probably the stupidest thing you could do with your money.
You got to do it nowadays.
You got to do it.
Diapers
They're
are
letting
expensive.
they're DoorDashing diapers. They're financing it.
You're paying them on a firm.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm buying my diapers on layaway. Getting a burrito on layaway. That's not a bad idea.
Everyone was all up in arms about like everyone was like, oh, DoorDash, paying for your DoorDash in installments. That's crazy. It is objectively no less crazy than financing a TV, in my opinion.
100%.
Get a different TV or don't have one.
Do you see the guy on X who's like a fake commercial real estate investor?
Yes.
It's like a parody account. And he was like, proud to say today I closed on a $36 burrito secured at 12% interest.
Paid in installments.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah, I think the best thing for you to do is to pray for your parents, because God has not had his diaper changed by your mom or your dad. And that's a fact. And so he can step in and he can affect this relationship. He's very powerful. So yeah, it's just one of those things where you're going to cause more problems than you solve, I think. And you just got to trust that God will take care of this one. So I think dedicating, maybe here's an idea. Here's something practical for you. You could choose like a fast that you do every week for your parents' marriage, So maybe it's like, or maybe it's something you give up permanently. Maybe you're like, I'm never going to drink IPAs ever again if you're like a hipster liberal. Or maybe you say, like, if you're cool and based, you say, I'm never going to drink Guinness ever again.
Never going to pack Zin ever again.
Yeah, I'm done packing Zin. Pick something that's like hard that you can do for your parents. And then the nice thing about this is that when they die, you can just pick that back up, whatever it is that you were fasting from. So just got a couple of years.
Good news is, though, I
Couple
hear
years
that workaholics and overbearing mothers, over-involved mothers, are typically the two that handle being empty nest retirees the best.
That's true. Maybe we're not looking on the bright side here. Have you considered how much money your dad is making that he's going to leave you? Maybe we don't need to mess with this at all.
I was kidding. That sounds like that sounds like the worst case scenario for two people that are entering retirement.
That's true.
Someone who's overinvested in her kids, empty nester, someone who's overinvested in his job, is about to retire. He's not going to know what to do with himself. It's crazy.
There's going to be a lot of energy in that house that has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So
gonna need to,
maybe,
like,
hopefully they get really into like, retirement changes people. Maybe they go to Cabo and they have an eye-opening experience, a spiritual awakening. They do some ayahuasca on the
I was
beach.
going to say ayahuasca on the beach.
And they come home and they're like, we've really decided to center ourselves. I hope that doesn't happen, because there's better ways to.
Yeah. Your mom starts burning stuff. Not like down, like burning stuff in the house, to like purify it.
Yeah, she gets into
Your parents
sage.
become pagans.
Yeah, that would not be the solution we're hoping for.
No,
But maybe they'll go on some trips. You should be like, you guys should. This is what you could do. You could be like, you guys should go on a trip somewhere. You guys should get out of town. Here, let me drive you to the bus station. Then drive them to the bus station.
Let me drive you to the port. Put you on a boat.
Yeah.
I
Buy
didn't
him a
get the
one-way
internet
ticket.
package, so bye.
Yeah. Where do you live? Buy him a one-way ticket to the furthest available place away on a bus.
A ticket
With
to Norway.
Yeah, and it's got those tiny screens up. You play Space Jam on it at night when you're driving back from the Focus conference.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
I do. A friend of mine works in like retirement advising, and he said that one of the best things you can do as an almost retiree is do a test drive retirement, like take an extended 4-month like PTO, like time off, even unpaid time off, and just kind of test drive your retirement and see what you do. So maybe suggest they do that. Like, hey, why don't you guys take like a quick, test drive retirement for a month or two, see how it goes, and then they might find out on their own. Oh, we don't like being around each other. That's a problem. We should probably figure that out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No.
All right.
Yeah. This is good. You'll be okay. Trust it to God.
Can't wait to find out in 5 years if that was good advice.
Let us know.
Ethan, speaking of finding things out, speaking of workaholics, in terms of good kind of workaholic, we have a sponsor. Verso Jobs.
Verso Jobs.
If you're looking for a job or you have to hire someone, go to versojobs.com. We don't have any ad copy for them yet, but we do like these guys, and so you should go check them out. Thank you.
This podcast brought to you by versojobs.com. That's Verso Jobs. Sponsored. We're sponsored by Verso Jobs. VRSOjobs.com. Verso Jobs.
Now back to the episode.
All right, perfect.
Dating question from a patron. How should deleting dating apps work when you're getting serious with a girl? Is exclusivity just assumed when you say, "Hey, will you be my girlfriend?" or should they be mentioned specifically, like by saying, "Hey, watch me delete Hinge, Tinder, FarmersOnly.com"? Clarification: I figured along the lines of a girl I dated. Sorry, he gave clarification that is responding to another person, so I don't know the context of the clarification. But he says in clarification, I dated a girl who didn't think that she needed to delete her apps when we started dating. I had to tell her to delete the apps. She argued she was just looking for friends.
That's great.
And that what we had was special and unique.
Uh-huh.
I really hope you broke up with her on the spot, brother. No girl is worth that. Come on, man. He didn't?
No, because she ended up cheating on him, and you know the rest of the story. That's what we were talking about that before the show.
Oh, this is that question?
Yes.
Not safe for work. She ended up cheating on me months later and, called me during okay.
Yep.
Dang.
Family-friendly podcast.
Why? That was a huge red flag, man. Come on.
What?
All right.
That she... This is the modern world of dating is so messed up. Used to be you go down the sock hop. Used to be go down the sock hop. You pick up a dang teeny bopper, and you say, "Hey, do you?" You say, "Hey, you want to be my wife now?" And she says, "Sure thing, govna." And then
will you be my best gal?
Will you be my best gal? I'm thinking about starting up a factory. See, molding plastics. And then she says,
the tariffs
"Sure."
President McKinley just instituted.
We're gonna bring our economy out of the recession. It's the baby boom, Patrick. It's not any time close to when McKinley was the president.
This is not the post-war.
I live in the Northeast and I own a factory, and you're gonna be my teeny bopper wife, and we're gonna make $16 billion just for existing in the late 20th century.
I could say 16 billion babies. That's about right.
That's fine too. It used to be you go to the soccer hop, you pick up a woman, you say, "Be my wife." She'd say yes. The only thing you would have to delete would be it. I mean, everyone was so chill. Like you had a pair of socks.
I don't even think they had invented the word delete yet. That was how clean and clear everyone was.
That's a really good point. You had to combine like if you had an iron and she had an iron, you had to like pick one iron, that you would use. Like you don't need two irons in the house, but that would be it. Like that's as complicated as it was. Now you go on a date, you say, "Will you be my girlfriend?" You gotta do a rain dance, in front of her to prove that you're loyal. I don't understand it.
back then, you lived in a small idyllic town where you've only ever seen 5 women your age, and so all of them, and you've only ever seen 10 dudes your age. And, 5 of them are going to go off to Wall Street to buy factories and make 16 billion. You're going to stay home, and so who everyone's dated. You're not going to get cheated on. That stuff didn't happen back then. But nowadays, man. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. That sucks.
Back then, you used to live in a small, idyllic town that everything looked so peaceful on the surface, but something nefarious lurked underneath.
Beneath the surface.
Beneath the surface. Ooh. And what could it be? Is it racism, or is it aliens as a metaphor for racism? Ooh.
Or is it a serial killer as a metaphor for racism?
Serial killer's metaphor for sexism. Always.
Really?
Who does the serial killer kill?
The women.
Women. Yeah. See?
Exclusively women. Yeah.
I hate that that's a trope. It's like 1950s town, but it's secretly violent, or there's like,
I feel like if that was happening, we would know more about it. Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't think you have to, I think you can say, I think there's an in-between for this, right? Because you've obviously been burned in the past. So if you've agreed, if someone's like, hey, I'll be your girlfriend, right? There's clearly some relationship, some level of trust. So I feel like you can say, hey, in one of my last relationships, the person I dated didn't delete their apps, even though I like asked her to, or like I had to ask her to, and she tried to. So I just kind of have this weird, I just want you to know that I've deleted the apps because I've been burned by this. And I just wanted to let you know that it's been deleted. And if she's a halfway decent person, she'll be like, oh yeah, I deleted it, as soon as I met you or whatever, like she'll jump right on board. The odds are this won't happen to you twice, but if it does, it would be really funny. So remember that.
Yeah, my last girlfriend, man, same thing happened, but this time she was parked with the guy out in the woods at night, and a guy with a bag over his head and a hook.
Yep.
That's real, by the way. Did you know that actually happened?
Well, someone got killed with a hook?
Yeah, man. In Texarkana, scariest thing in the world.
You're making up places.
This up. No, this is real. Texarkana. It's like a famous serial killer. Texarkana.
It would be funny if you told the girl, like, hey, I feel really comfortable. Like, I'm going to delete these apps. I'm not going to make you do anything because I trust you. And then she just like slowly slides her phone like into her pockets so that you can't see it. And she's like, oh yeah, totally. I got it.
Yes.
What are you looking up? You're looking up serial killers. We're talking about dating and love and relationships. You're looking up murder and death.
Texarkana murders with the it's a guy with.
You really know how to make a guy happy. Talking about serial killing.
The town that
you've been
dreaded
watching a lot
sundown.
of crime dramas, haven't you?
Oh man, so scary. Look up The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Very scary. A guy with a burlap sack over his head with 2 little cut eye holes. He's got a hook and he's killing people. Man, that's classic. That's the only bad stuff that happened in the 50s. But he only killed 4 people.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No.
All in one town?
Yes.
That's good. He kept it
local. I watched a movie about it. Was it the Zodiac Killer movie that I watched?
No, the Zodiac Killer was very distinctly in San Francisco.
No, but they were doing like a movie about serial killers. I forget. Anyway, the Phantom Killer is the guy with the hook that kills you in the car at night. So that trope comes from a real thing that happened, which is scary.
Well, yeah, that is good to know. Is there any other advice we need to give this guy? Any other encouragement we need to give? Are the apps ruining the young people?
I do think that the apps might be ruining the young people a little bit. I do think the apps are the worst, and you should delete them as soon as possible. Anyone who doesn't delete them quick enough, they like them too much.
Yeah. But I can understand it. Like, if I was in a world in which I was hot, one of the many alternate realities out there, one of them I'm hot in it. And it's just a constant dopamine drip straight to your brain of other hot people saying you're pretty hot. That is, dudes used to, you ever seen Hamlet?
No.
Romeo and Juliet?
Yes.
Romeo and Juliet is about 2 hot people that that tell each other that they're hot in such a powerful way that they kill themselves.
They both die.
They both die. It's like if you gave Romeo and Juliet Tinder, actually the end result would be the same. But I think
more dead. I think actually it would be more people dead. Yeah.
It's this insane power that is like absolutely destroying the brains of the average 7 and up person in this country. And then also the brain of the average 3 and below person in this country. People who are in the middle, they're all doing fine. Everybody's doing okay if you're of average attractiveness. But if you're too hot or too not,
I thought you meant 7-year-olds, and I was
no.
confused.
I'm talking about ranking your attractiveness on a scale of 1 to 10.
I see.
Yeah. So, but what's the alternative? I guess you go on unnamed Catholic dating app that should sponsor our show. No free pub.
I guess. But still, it's still tough out there, man. And that's still a dopamine hit. No, it's if you meet someone on a dating app that likes the dating apps too much, you got to run. This is what will happen to you. You will get a phone call during the Sideways Tango, and you will be you will feel bad about yourself, like our friend here, and that sucks. Do I know who this is? Do I know this person?
You would recognize their handle, yes.
Oh, okay.
Their patron. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I also would want this to be anonymous. That sucks. You deserve reparations. I think financial reparations for any fellow who's been cheated on after asking. Man, I hate that. I love that I'm married. That's so
in
good.
Trump's America, you should be allowed to sue a woman if she cheats on you.
You should be any woman that cheats on you. You should be allowed to issue reciprocal tariffs against her.
Yeah. In Kamala's America, men were going to have to pay extra taxes in Kamala's America. But in Trump's America, the women don't have to pay extra taxes. But if you do cheat on a man, you will get sued and you will get the DA on your case.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Oh, wait.
I think all we've run out of user submitted questions for the week because we answered so many last week. So
okay.
We did
really rapid fire. I do have a couple of Reddit questions.
Yeah, the beautiful world of Reddit. Because they got problems over there.
All right, we might need to break quiet because that one wasn't good. I need to find a better one. I'm gonna go to Catholic dating.
Hum dum 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 dee dee dee.
If you ever want to feel better about yourself,
go to r/Catholic dating.
Go to r/Catholic dating. Oh yeah, absolutely yeah. Dating at university. Question about age. More than 6 months is pedophilia, so you should probably be careful about that. Anyone like to rate my profile? Yes, actually, I kind of do. They're saying, hey, DM me. Okay, never mind. Dating norms at a TLM. 31-year-old guy, and I need advice.
All right.
This is great.
Right up our alley.
5'11", 185 pounds.
Okay, hold on.
What's the BMI there?
5'11", 185. That's not... He might be a little... He's either muscular or he might be just a little chunky. That's like 2 inches taller than me and 15 pounds heavier. So, not an unreasonable body on that guy.
No, he's good. He's 185, 5'11". He's right there at he's just at overweight.
Yeah, just smack. Yeah. I would say that's probably exactly, a pretty typical American male body.
Typical American male. But yeah. Brother, that's exactly where you want to be. You want to be a little overweight because that means you got a little chunk. That means you got a little heft to you, and that means you can start putting on some muscle. And when you put a little muscle on there, your BMI will stay the same, but you'll still look good. You'll carry it better. That's what you got to do, man.
You tell him, Patrick.
Shut up. That's what you need, man. You just need to get a little
muscle on there. His morning motivational mirror speech to this guy.
Oh, I am well beyond overweight. I am technically obese.
You've lost weight. No. You've lost weight.
I'm still technically obese.
You keep going, man.
BMI is a cruel mistress.
BMI stands for barely matters, I guess.
Index. I'm 6'2", and I'm 235. So we'll see. We'll see if that goes down.
I only see you from the waist up, so I really have a hard time judging your size. But it feels like you've lost quite a bit from what I've seen.
This is real.
Yeah.
This is me.
Everybody watch on YouTube to see Patrick's full 360 body reveal.
My physique.
Oh, don't go to no.
Just throw it back a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear this guy's question.
Sorry. 31-year-old guy talk with young adults both after mass and at young adult group events, which typically includes adoration, potlucks, Bible study, parties. I talk to other guys and women in the same friendly way. I enjoy getting to know others through conversation. My entire life, I've never noticed a single woman show any signs of interest in me. They typically talk to me as an acquaintance. I've had guy friends that I enjoy doing activities with, but I've never actually had any women friends that want to do any sort of activity with me. The only exception to that would be when we go dancing as a group of young adults. When we go dancing, almost all of the Catholic women in our group will dance with me. However, I've never had a woman agree to go on a date with me in real life. I've only ever been rejected. In the digital space, I've had a couple of dates from dating apps. Catholic Match was a complete bust because I messaged 75 women and typically either got blocked or never received a response back. That is cruel. That's cruel.
Nuts.
Is that, ladies, let us know in the comments. Is that what you're supposed to do when you don't like a guy on Catholic Match? Is just block him?
That's what I do when I don't like someone's tweets.
Maybe this guy is being creepy. There's no way. Maybe. Nah, whatever.
I'll look through his post history while you finish the question.
Okay. I've almost reached the point where I want to give up on ever having a relationship in my life. I honestly don't even know what being in a relationship would be like. Besides having a perpetual non-existent dating life, I enjoy my career, faith life, and have a blast with my family and friends. I'm 5'11" and $185. Could y'all provide advice to me on my dating situation? Any advice is appreciated. What else has he said? Okay, apparently this girl said that people block people over the most ridiculous things on Catholic Match. A guy said he just wrote hi and was blocked. Guy's been blocked for saying happy birthday. If someone doesn't like the look of someone, they'll block him. Apparently that's a common thing.
I would probably imagine it's a defense mechanism on the part of the women because they so often it's creepy, you know. So I get it. What do we tell this guy? Because if
someone asked the obvious question, how are your looks?
Yeah. Does he post a picture? It'd be so easy if he posted a picture of his face. Yeah, post physique.
Did you look at his post history?
I just found the thing. No, this is his only post. So
bummer.
I feel bad for guys like this who are.
He's an.
I think he misunderstands. The problem. Because he's got like one side of the dating equation, right, which is open to meeting new people, reaching out to plenty of women online. You know, he's got the outreach part correct. His advertising is on point. Maybe it's his offer that's the problem. You know, maybe we need to read $100 million offers for this guy. He's got the leads. He's just not converting any of them.
What's your value equation in the sexual marketplace?
Yeah. Yes.
Now we sound like the bro podcasters everyone's accusing us of being all the time.
Well, maybe we should just lean into it and change the name of our show.
Every time when someone says bro podcaster as a derogatory term on Twitter, I get so much more excited for the rebrand.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Do people call us bro podcasters?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. They do. They do all the time. They're like, oh, these podcast bros. One lady, I told her to shut up because she was annoying me. Nice. I was like, you need to shut up. And she was like,
what was she saying to you?
All these So it was a woman who wrote an article for Where Peter Is about how prisons are bad. And then like when Lauren Handy and the pro-life prisoners were getting released by Trump, she was like, oh, they should actually stay there. And I was like, you are a plant. You are a FBI plant in the Catholic Church, and I don't trust you. And
yes.
She said something in my replies about how then she said something about how Catholics aren't persecuted in America. And I was like, yeah, they are. Look in the mirror. You'll find one. You'll find a persecutor of the Catholic Church in America right there. So shut up.
It's you.
And then she blocked me, and then she tweeted, I hate these podcast bros that tell women to shut up and wonder why they're still single. And I was like, I am
That's
married
so
with 2
funny.
children. So
People just make a lot of assumptions about
I know.
you.
I don't get it.
It's great. I get it. If you don't know you, sometimes you can be very unlikable. Because
Yeah.
your posts are so, you don't, and I don't think you should. This is not corrective. This is merely informative. But you just put your you just say what's on your mind, you know?
Yes.
Which is
Yeah,
good. You should do
I've
that.
recently been
Most
leaning
people
into
don't.
that. My
Yeah.
wife told me that when I speak, it sounds like I'm serious all the time, and
Yeah.
that comes across in text, and so she's like, "You got to be careful what you say," and I know that's a fact. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we'll talk about this more in the bonus show. I want to finish this guy's question before we.
Oh, duh. Yeah, sorry, I'm diving into.
Yeah. No, you're good. I've got a lot of thoughts about how Patrick can overcome his short.
That's patreon.com/the crunch. That's
I know,
Patreon. If you
it's
want to
great.
hear me go through my weekly therapy session with Ethan, where he
With me,
fixes me.
it's really fun. No, we're gonna
Conversion
talk about a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk about the current events. We're gonna talk about the news. We're gonna talk about all the cool things we're working on behind the scenes with the podcast, into turning this small show into a multi-billion-dollar Catholic podcasting
Catholic media
industry.
enterprise. But for now, let's
Catholic
talk about
media
this
podcast.
guy's probably your looks.
It's probably your looks, and it's. Do you smell? Can the women
Yeah,
online tell that you smell, and they just block you because it comes
It
through the
might
screen?
be that you smell. The thing about looks is that it matters more than you think, and a lot of guys don't read, and a lot of guys think it's hopeless. It's not hopeless. You can. There's a haircut can do wonders, man. I was talking about this
Yeah.
with a friend online. You don't. The power that a haircut can have. I can show you the video if you want me to pull it up.
You're talking about the nerdy guy that gets the haircut?
Yes. Do you have the video
Yeah.
right here?
No, I don't have it, but I know the video you're talking about.
I will pull it up.
I don't think we should waste time. We shouldn't waste time pulling it up because
I
we're at the end
agree.
of the show. So, a haircut, taking care of your skin. Something that I learned way too late in my life is I was using my washcloth to wash my face, and my washcloth had bacteria on it, and it was giving me acne constantly for years. And one day my wife was like, why don't you just use your hands to wash your face instead of the washcloth? And I started doing that, and I stopped getting acne all the time. I still get a pimple every now and then, but it's not nearly as regular and as intense as it used to
You were
be.
just scrubbing your face with
was just
everything
scrubbing-
that was on your body.
Yes. And it's like, I always thought, oh, the cloth makes it clean because there's soap on the cloth and it exfoliates the pores. And it like might be embarrassing to admit this. Some people are like, oh, Ethan, you're stupid. But it's like, it's just genuinely a thing that I didn't know and never thought about because you shower by yourself, until you're
Exactly.
married. And then it's like, it wasn't even until we moved into this house where there was like a clear, like we have a glass door instead of a curtain.
Yeah.
So it's like only in the last year and a half that someone has been able to see me shower.
And
right?
like monitor and make sure that, I'm doing it right.
Yeah, Emma sits in a chair and watches me to make sure that I don't screw it up. She's taking notes, rewinding, watching the game tape. Be like, right there. I'm like sitting next to her, soaking wet, and she's like, "Okay, at this point, when you get back in there, try it again."
He's like, no, you have to wash all of you, not just the important parts. The water does not
Yeah.
take care of the rest. That's how.
So anyway, it's like you should just look up. Don't be afraid to look up basic hygiene things.
Big one that guys miss. Deodorant is not always antiperspirant. You need antiperspirant plus deodorant. Crunchy people don't get mad at me. Aluminum isn't that bad for you. You need
is.
Okay. Antiperspirant
My
plus
BO
deodorant.
My BO has gone away. Another thing, what types of clothes are you wearing? Because if you're wearing polyester, you're going to stink, guaranteed. I've switched to an all cotton shirt diet, and I never have BO anymore. I do the native deodorant with the all cotton shirts like this. I've been wearing the shirt all day. I've been in this room sweating because it's been warm in here under the hot lights, and I don't have any BO. And I would tell you if I did, So
You would.
it's just, I think there's just little things about like what's your
probably
style? Do your clothes fit right?
Are
Do
you
have
balding?
good skin?
Just shave.
Just shave,
Just do it. You're gonna look
just do
good.
it.
Ladies will take
Go
it.
work out. I think having muscles is kind of underrated. I know it sounds stupid, but like
And it's
being
not,
buff
and,
does solve a lot of problems. You
and
know?
you don't have to be like guys think it's either 7% body fat or nothing. That's
No.
super not the case. Like
You can have a cool dad bod
a
that's
good
muscular.
frame is fine. You know,
Gotta have a good
it's just-
frame on that man.
you start I mean, just a little bit of resistance training. It's not too hard. You can do a lot of it at home. You know, it's you're not gonna wake up tomorrow and be shredded. And you're not gonna have, the V tape.
Yeah.
But you're gonna look good, you know? Especially if you've never worked out before. Look, if you've never worked out before, start working out for 8 weeks straight and just see what happens. The newbie gains are crazy. It makes you feel insane. I remember in college when I was like, oh my gosh, I like actually have like muscle back here. My back always just went like this, and now it's kind of going like that. You know?
I think this is good advice for this man. We're going to follow him on Reddit to see what his solutions are. We'll follow up. If I see any update from this guy, I'll bring it back up. But
Blast. If anyone knows this guy, let him know that we talked about him on the podcast.
yes. Patrick, you're going to, or I'm going to pull up the YouTube comment of the week, and you're going to tell them why they should join Patreon.
You guys should join Patreon because every week you get a... Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I thought it was over this cold. You get access to our entire back catalog of bonus podcast episodes, and you also get access to our bonus podcast that we're going to be releasing this Friday. And you get access to our movie commentaries that we've done. We did Over the Hedge and Hunchback of Notre Dame. You get that. You get the 5 episodes of the Bible cast that we did that Katie Ruby joined for, and then we stopped doing.
The digital pilgrimage that we did.
Digital pilgrimage. We went to Israel, and every night we sat down with our pilgrimage group and we did a podcast, which was such a good idea. I was so glad
fun.
we did it. So you get to go on a digital pilgrimage to the Holy Land with us, and more as we build our multi-billion-dollar Catholic podcasting media empire, based around the concept of being single bros who tell women to shut up.
That's patreon.com/thecrunch. This is the Unhinged YouTube comment of the week. These two keep me locked in a basement and make me interact with YouTube videos all day. Send help. Get back in your cage. Who let you out?
Keep typing, monkey. Okay, go on.
Patrick, do you have anything else for the people?
Tune in next week when we issue reciprocal tariffs against Father Mike Schmitz.
Thank you all for listening. Please pray for us. We'll be praying for you, and we will see you all next time.